Hey chatters, I hope your night is doing well, your day is doing well. Listen, over this side of town, it's dark. It almost feels like midnight. Because when winter season come in, it gets, darker for us. Even at 5 o'clock, straight night, right? But I hope your day is well. It's your girl, Annie, and it is Chit Chat TV, because over here, we have the Hard Talk, Real Talk conversations. And guys, I want to have a conversation tonight with you guys. And if you're not following me on my YouTube channel, please ensure to follow us at Chit Chat TV, Hard Talk, Real Talk, My Reality, right? We're going to have a little discussion about this whole food dye conversation because it's important that we know a couple of things, right? Now, guys, let me say this. I know there's been a continuous conversation going on the media. A continuous conversation going on in the media when it pertains to cakes. It's been going on for a long time. And many of us appreciate baked goods. I'm not a super, sweet person. Like, I'm not a big cake person. But when you do get that piece of cake that you enjoy, right, whether it has food coloring or not, right, over the years, if you're a person that's into that stuff, you go and you buy that stuff. You're not thinking nothing much about it, right? But as we grow in knowledge and as we grow in understanding, and of course science is real, guess what? We learn that there's certain things, and with studies that has taken place, there's certain things that can cause an issue in people. It can cause real serious health issue in people. Let's take this conversation slowly. Now, I know over the years there are different people that has bought Auntie Donna's cake, and there's people on the media like Donna, there's people like Majesty, Tina Chin that does cake, and some of the people that I've seen that done like consistent things with cakes and stuff, and there's much more other people even on the American side, because I watch people bake, I watch people cook. I like those kind of videos sometimes, and even with Chris, when I watch him, he has these designs that he do that are just so great. Like, I don't even know how somebody can design a cake the way he does, and there's many more people that is like him, right? Not necessarily always in our diaspora, but there are people all over that does baking. But we get to a point where knowledge is important, and that there are certain things when it comes to food that are now being, it's on a ban because of the health issues that those things can cause to people. There are cancer-causing agents that are in food dyes. But food dyes don't just sit when it comes to cake alone. There are food dyes in other products, right? So we got to be fair. Let me read this post real quick. Because we really, in everything we do, it's important to really be fair. Let me read this post for you guys. Bringing awareness and educating the people shouldn't be intertwined with targeting and tarnishing a person's brand due to malicious desires. What about these listed products? Red velvet cakes, Doritos, chewing gum, salad dressing, flavored milks, candy, soda, chips, sports drinks, cereals, yogurts, ice cream, processed meat, and the list goes on, right? Now, it could have been a very informative message, but it just got lost in the messy madness of anger, bitterness, personal hatred, blah, blah, blah. You hear the list of products that has dyes in it, and that does not, that's not the whole list of things that big companies, do make for us to eat. How many years have you and I been eating stuff, right? Put aside these social media people that are now doing these cakes and that we never knew all of our lives, right? And how many, food items you and I go to Walmart, Tops, and I bought. We have parties for the kids, or you have a celebration at your church, or any little thing, and you go buy them chips, and you go buy them juices, and real colorful ones, and there's a lot of food coloring in foods that we eat. There's a lot of it, right? Like I said before, but with knowledge, we have to make better choices. We have so much illnesses and sicknesses now that are because of the consistent things we eat. A lot of these things that they're calling organic, a lot of these things that when you look at the label, some of the words are in different names, generic names or whatever. And you don't always know what a person is serving you, because how many people actually look at the label and go Google what this means? Come on. They put the label in fine print for a reason. They put the label in fine print for a reason. So I want a lot of people to consider that you and I have been eating a lot of food over the years that honestly has a lot of, not just the food coloring, but a lot of other additives that are really not healthy for us. I mean, I know if none of you ever think about even the white sugar. Sometimes when you consume too much of the white sugar, how sluggish you feel. Sometimes your brain is foggy when you consume, and it can be consuming your cookies, it can be consuming your coffee. Simple things that you and I may like. But with more knowledge, it is important to consider what we eat. Now, recently I seen, there's an uproar about a review that was done by someone when they bought her cake. And, it's a conversation that to me is not really new, because people has given review on Donna cake over the years, whether good or bad, right? But for some reason, there was a bashing behind that review. And we have certain people that will always come. Hey, Marion, how are you? There are some people that will always come in defense of Donna, whether Donna right, whether Donna wrong. It's not even about that. But it's the mentality that if somebody have their own feelings about something, whether we agree, we have to really stop targeting people in general. When things happen, you understand what I'm saying? When you give a review that you don't like, when somebody says something we don't like, or they give a review, or the words are said that we don't like, because we can't control people. We cannot control people. And a lot of us act like we don't want our peace. We have to secure our peace. And not everybody gonna like what me go say. And not everybody gonna like what you gonna say. You understand? Yes, Sharon, how are you, darling? She said she had to stop drinking a color drink because it gave me headache. Yes. A lot of things we eat are not healthy, and we take it so simple, but no. Let's not take it simple. But it's a lot of moving parts with this social media thing, guys. Because you know what? You and I, if you have common sense, you've been watching the bashing side of this media, and how there are many big companies that do the same thing, and you don't really hear people bashing them. But recently, we do know that there is a ban on certain things, even in America. And we have to wake up to truth. Those conversations are truthful. There are bans on things now because it has caused really big issues medically for people. And even with this information, many people will still go and eat unhealthy things. You ever watch this show, My 600 Pound Life? These people know they're dying, pretty much. Your heart is full with fat. You can't walk. Your babies are now taking care of you at 12 years old and 10 years old. Come on. Let's talk about it. And you won't stop eating those big pizza because you got to have 3/4 to 10 pieces, 20 pieces of pizza and 30 wings on your own. I don't understand the mentality that comes behind me knowing this thing is killing me. but I'm doing it. But I get it. Addiction is it wears many faces. It doesn't mean it only has to be within the food. It can be drinking. It can be relationships. It can be so many other things. So I try not to be judgmental, but when I look at those things, I'm like, yo, you're dying here. So it's a reason why, there's a ban on certain foods or certain items that are placed in foods, because there are many studies that have been done scientifically. When you think about it, there are many tests that have been done. It is proven that these things have cancer-causing agents and other issues that it can cause to your body, right? So at the end of the day, me and you now have no business eating certain things, but we have a choice. So people make their beautiful cakes, Marian, and they enjoy using food coloring because food coloring makes cake beautiful. It makes the cake look really nice. And I don't wrong people for using food coloring, but when you're educated now, or you have got, more information about how dangerous it's been, and that how impactful it's been in people's lives, I would say venture off to something more healthy, just for any business person out there. Because if a person, and of course, everything, a lot of food we eat, you have standards for it, of how much food coloring is acceptable by the CDC or anybody else, right? There's standards to these things. So there's not even a certain amount that you should use in food, because it can literally be super dangerous if a person consumes too much. And you and I, Miss Marian, don't know how much cake a person will buy. If they go home, they might buy 10 cakes and decide they're going to chug down 3 for the night, right? I am not a big cake eater, but I enjoy me some beautiful, tasty looking cake when the time come about that I feel, like I'm in the mood to eat a cake. But I'm also trying to be more conscious and mindful, because it's not just cakes and sweets and stuff like that. It's other food that is even deemed organic, that there are products that are placed in these food these days that are just not healthy for you and I. And we need to pay more attention. Now, when it pertains to the Donna, conversation and her cakes, because there's been a consistent and a repetitious conversation around her stuff. And she's not the only person that cooks or bakes. It's all of the people that are doing it that we have to be mindful. We're now seeing bans on foods. We have to be mindful. Why are they banned? And there are other bans that are coming down the line too. There are other bans, other colors, not just red. So let's not just pick on red either, right? There's other bans on foods that are coming down the pipeline, because it's proven that these things are not healthy for us. And I want you to be aware too, it's a broader conversation, that people are willing to sacrifice people's lives. They don't care, because it's your choice when you buy the food. They're willing to sacrifice your life for money. So these big companies, put aside Donna. Donna ain't the big people. Donna might be popular to some Jamaican, but when you think about these other bigger companies that Donna can't even be compared to, hello, they produce mass amount of products that go to all different kinds of countries, right? All different countries, feeding kids, families, and they're tasty. But so much of these things eventually makes people sick. So all of us who, if you're, you know what I'm saying? If you're serving food and you care about being aware, you care about what you're serving your customers, and you care about health in general, just consider the unhealthy products that you may include in your recipe. And people that are buying, common sense is still common. You don't got to buy something that you feel like has something in it that can be harmful to you. We're all adults. So at the end of the day, when you decide to buy something, it's your choice. It really is your choice. But whenever we're trying to bring across a point and we're disrespecting people, people are not really in the mood or feel like they have to receive what you're saying. Because if you want to say, okay, I'm speaking truth, or what I'm saying is valuable, what I'm saying people should listen, You have to try to respect people. You understand? The louder you get doesn't mean what you're saying is true. The more violent or aggressive we get in a conversation doesn't mean what we're saying is accurate, right? I can get up right now and start battling my mouth because you know my mouth big. And my child know my mouth is big for real, for real. We're Jamaicans. A lot of us are loudmouth people. Naturally, culturally, we are loudmouth people. And we feel, say, when we open up our mouth and we chat with aggression, people should listen. No. People would appreciate a little bit of respect when we are trying to get across a point sometimes that is valuable, a point that is important. Food dye is unhealthy. You understand? These things are unhealthy, but food dye is not the only thing that is unhealthy, and it's not cakes alone that food dye is in. So let's broaden the conversation. Many of the snacks you buy for your children are unhealthy. Many of those snacks got dyes in it, man. And how many things I eat, probably on a weekly basis, that got dyes in it right now. Right? So these things is a personal thing. So let's not target one platform and say this and that. Because this Dana, I don't even know what it is, but Dana is scrutinized a lot when it comes to what she's doing. And of course, you know, whenever you present yourself a particular way in the media, or what you have put out is what the people have garnished, and it's what the people utilize against you. So when it comes to her platform, she has to know what she does, and it's what people will criticize of her. Right? Some of you might not like what Dana bake. Like I was sitting here listening to this video, and people are saying if you market, you know, your product to be what, a pudding cake type of thing, you probably will get more honest buyers or whatever. But when it's cutting, it's not cutting like a cake, you know, it's not really marketed in the correct way. But my thing is this. Everybody has their own platform. Jackie said it's a person's responsibility to read what you are eating. Yes, it's almost like an invisible contract when the label is there and you don't read it. Once you hand that, you know, person that money, that label is on the bottle or on the container. Once that label is there, it's up to you to read it, right? It's really up to you. Miss Jennifer, how are you doing tonight? I hope you're doing well, honey. We have to look at these things. But Dana's you think about it over the years, the kind of things that Dana have done. Dana have all kind of people watch her. People that like her, people that respect her, people that can't stand her. Oh my God, if you think about it. Some people just watch Dana just to clip a video to make a little money. You know, you go, people hungry, they have to eat, mix up a keep, people have to, yeah. And of course, the Plagatarians, many of them has had a reputation of targeting people, even when people speak something that is of the heart and not necessarily to bring Dana down. Some of the, not every Plagatarian, because I'm not going to broaden that. It is some of the people that have supported her, in ways that have been, some would deem to be blindly. So if that means to me, if Dana is wrong in one regard, you would find a way to say she's right. Much like how people would follow Trump and say, well, if Trump went to do something to our baby, we will find an excuse for him to still do it. I'm saying right. Even when something is blatantly wrong, it doesn't matter who we want to support. If something is blatantly wrong, be a genuine supporter to say, guess what? Hey, I love you, I respect you, I've been supporting you, but this thing that you've done here isn't right. Don't be a blind follower to any platform on the media. It doesn't matter who they are. Nobody's God out here. Nobody's God out here. This is why even the word cult was an issue to many out here on the media. Because the idea that if you're going to follow something and you're not following what is right when there's time for correction or there's time to say no one's perfect, or you say, okay, this person I love isn't right in what they said to this person, you have to be a big enough person to say that. Hey, me like you, but that went dead wrong way you do. You understand? And sometimes people, yes, Miss Jackie, constructive criticism is sometimes a little bit hard. It's sometimes a little bit hard for us to receive. But I also have to highlight that a lot of us say we're giving constructive criticism, but we're not. We're giving disrespect. And I want us to be mindful of it. We're giving disrespect. We want somebody to hear what we are saying. We want somebody to receive the message. Because the message of the food diet is not a bad message, you know. It's not at all. It is a true, completely true message. But sometimes things can get lost in translation. Sometimes based on who is giving the message, based on a person's reputation, will dictate how people receive the message. And sometimes people will say, you know, oh, me not want to hear from you because from when you bring down the person, from when you bring down the person, from when you're biased against a person, from when you don't like the person, then that's why you bring up this particular party. So let's broaden the conversation, because I have no dog in anybody's fight out here. I'm in my own fight with Jesus and devil, what they fight me every day in my own self. So I'm not here for no defending Donna or anyone else, right? But we're talking about the things with food these days. It's a lot of these big companies that are serving you and I garbage in our foods. And a lot of these people don't want you to plant your own food in your backyard no more. You understand? A lot of times you look around, they want to build, they're building another business, they're tearing down the trees. You understand? You not have no backyard to plant nothing natural to eat. You got a store, they say healthy and organic, and they're not. Look at the label when they say some foreign word. Me and you are scientists? Me and you is not scientists. We're not a scientist to always know the meaning. And most time when you're so hungry, you're not going to go always. Some people might, but you're not always going to go and Google this fancy word. But if you Google that fancy word and you realize the meaning of it, some of that stuff is come like a rat poison. Them give you. I am telling you. So when we care about our customers in food, and the food industry is a very, very hard industry, I would say, because there's a lot of rules. I'm at my church, and even though my church is not a restaurant, we have a full-on kitchen at our church. You see a dead sentence? Sugar is dead sentence? Yes. I have a kitchen at my church, right? And our kitchen has to be inspected. Even though we're not cooking as a restaurant to anybody, per se. But when we're ready, we have our little cooking, things at our church. So we love to cook at the church. We cook a lot of times on them, right? So, but our inspectors have to come and inspect the whole downstairs and make sure everything is in place and we're up to code. So anybody that is serving you food needs to be up to code, even if you're doing it in your home. And that's for any business, or you're doing it, maybe you rented a facility and you're doing it there. You have to be up to code. You have to be careful. I have to be up to code. It's not just rules to coloring and the amount of coloring you put in food and the dangers of that, but it's also the cleanliness in which you operate under. Some of you are cooking for people and you're not clean. Your hands is dirty. Like, you nasty when you go to the bathroom. You're not even wiping yourself right. You're not washing right. You just nasty. The floors is dirty. You go up in the restaurant. You go up in the house when they're cooking. Look at the breadcrumbs in the corner. Child, when you're dealing in the food business, you got to care not just about cooking it. You got to care where you cook it, the container you cook it in, how you present it. So it's a very hard business is the point I'm making here. A very hard business. No, I am not malicious against anybody's bread and how they make it in their home and how they make it down in their basement, because people have name and they have to live and they have them business, and I respect people who are push out for them business. So when we speak of these things, we speak about it not from a biased perspective. Because I know a lot of you defend Donna because you're biased. You defend Donna because you're biased. Because a lot of the Planketarians have given Donna a bad name. And it's not every mix-up that is keeping that it is Donna directly, but it will be people that are supporting Donna that are not being logical in particular moments. Some things are straight to the point. It is not something that is a rocket science, right? But yet you will just roll with it and say it's right even when it's wrong. Let's not be those people. Let's be honest and let's be true. Let's be genuine. Even when you're giving it up. And don't seek to tear people down. Even if you combat a thing that a person is saying. Because nothing is wrong with saying, I don't agree. You don't have to agree with chit-chat. Come on. Me and you are not the same people. How is it you're going to agree with everything I say? You don't have to agree. But we don't have to keep disrespecting and targeting particular platforms, because we've seen that there is like a a dollar to make here. Or whatever reason, it might not just be for money, because it's not everybody that's making money like that in the media, but they just come to speak their opinion, and they are allotted their opinion like anyone else. So I'm not here to tell anybody to not speak. But if we want people to hear us, there's a tone and a temperature in which you operate under, because it is not, you cannot come to people disrespecting them, bringing down their business, chastising people you have no relationship with, and expect them to say, yeah, what you say, a true man. Yeah, man, me hear what you say, a true. Thank you. I know you care about me. No. Because you don't want nobody chat to you, so. And I think that is an idea that we all can respect. Let us take our customers a lot more seriously, their life, our life. And if we are used product that we know say unhealthy, and we know we do in our head, sometimes we don't know things. But when you have gotten knowledge and you realize it is publicized and you realize it's available knowledge for you to gain, try to just adjust some things. Because we are Jamaican, there are different ways to do things. But I also know it's not easy to venture outside of what you're used to. So sometimes you got to bear with people till they figure it out. Sometimes, you think all these companies that are going to adjust, that have been using food coloring in their food for years, and their customers want the things to look the same way. I'm telling you, customers are very anal at times. Customers are very anal at times. They look the same. We don't want it. You understand? So it can get a little tricky with how your audience sees it. Now Marianne says chemistry is not to play with. Mixing stuff for people to eat is not something to play with. Allergies is real. Yes. But remember, as Jamaican people, a lot of us do things out the whim. Growing up, we bake a cake, we cook food, and a response, we do what we have to do, we use what we have to use, and we have that kind of mentality. If you just do it and just make a little hustings and a little money. But we're living in a time now, there's so much rules and regulation. Even when you think about church and non-profit, church of yes, even though you see church, they are non-profit. Church is a business. You have to operate like a business under the government. So there are rules that if you're going to operate as a business, as an entity, if Chit Chat was going to operate as a business and an entity by itself, there's rules. If you say you're going to be this and you're going to be that, there's rules that any organization have to follow. You understand? There's criteria, there's limitations, there's doses, there's amounts that you have to abide by, healthy things. And there's certain amounts you can't put in food because it can really be detrimental for somebody's body, and somebody that, oh my God, you don't even know how much people are eating. Sometimes people buy 2, 3 sitting and them wholly by it one time. You don't know what your neighbor is doing. You don't know what your neighbor is doing. And we're not in charge of our neighbor. That's why we say we also come back to the idea of people have to make that choice. What sort of food you want to be eating. Nobody's forcing you to eat a food that has a red dye, blue dye, pink dye, yellow dye, any dye, what is in it. But I want you to be mindful that these things are unhealthy, not just in cakes that are baked on the media for people we can't stand. Right? Because we sit back and we will target people. We cannot stand and say, this is what they're doing. They're breaking the rules and it's against the law. And I know it's against the law. When you take, but it's not only people you can't stand that's breaking rules. It is these big pharma companies that have not yet changed their products too. Let's be fair. Come in and carry it to me for nobody's business. I never come out here and disrespect anybody's business. Whether I think they bake good, not bake good, whether they ain't get and customers complain say they not get them something, whether this person say the cake tough or the cake soft, whether they think of pudding, I don't care. Anything a person does to make their own money, to do their life and to take care of their family, and they got their business people, they got the people that is helping them, to each his own. People have to take care of their families and their loved ones. But we have to consider the moving parts in our businesses. You have to consider there are rules that the government have for people that are going to run businesses in this country, or any other country rather. You have to abide by them. And we are not no church while we run no kitchen. But we have a kitchen, and because we have a kitchen, we have to literally follow the rules. We literally, and we not cook nothing for people like that. Every time them come to their inspection, they come and they do their inspections with us. They just come recently too and do inspection with us. Yes, sis, I know. I work in my church soup kitchen, and I had to take a class to work in there because you are easy to contaminate food and no, that is not kept well. Absolutely. So the rules abide even if you're not necessarily cooking for a bunch of people. We know so back in the day we were kind of loose in the way we do, and back in the day rules didn't apply as much now, but that is how knowledge has increased. We see why it's important to have rules in place, because people may have died, and we have seen how over the years studied and knowledge has increased us. You know, in the decisions that we make, because of knowledge now we know, say, okay, we have to make sure we have on certain things from our head, our hands are clean, how we handle hot and cold products and how long we can store them, you know, is something we consider, blah, blah, blah. All of you that is in the food business, I'm not in the food business, but it is something that I know you have to consider how long you store these things. Always store the temperature it is actually stored in. So let's be mindful of those things. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. When we're giving a message to people, let us give them a message that they can receive. Whether they think you like them or not. All because when you think about how you want people to speak to you, and a lot of you don't care, and you're in a business, and you fight fire, and you burn fire, and you not care, and I get it. But for those who are considerate and who has a heart that is still full of love and understanding, I'm talking to those people, not the hard-hearted people that just don't care. We care. That's why change is good and change is okay. We care. That's why we're giving an opinion on something. It's not because we're charged up with hate and jealousy. Hear me and hear me well. Hard talk, real talk. When you're giving a message to people that you want them to receive, you cannot disrespect consistently people, business and life or anything like that and expect them to receive it and tell no the bad word behind what we are saying. Hear what we are saying. The idea is not a lie. We have to be mindful what we say, but we have to also be mindful what we cook for people. Let's care about each other enough that we adjust accordingly, you know, to as knowledge grow, as we understand now that certain things are not good for us. Take our time and we adjust, because you have to understand, say, take time, because when businesses have been using these things for years, we got to find some kind of, you know, other thing to use. Guess what? Money still got to be made. We got to be logical about it. It doesn't just change overnight. That's why things take time and it's a process, right? But as we go on this process and you're in your business, you want to continue your business because you love what you do, consider using healthy stuff. We come from a more healthy nation, a conscious nation, and we know so enough how we get more modernized and we get more quickie things. We say, all right, this easier for do it that way, so we could do it quick and easier. But back in the day, we did really rub butter and sugar, boy. And your hand hot you. Them were the good old days. You lick off all the spoon. And things went just different with food. Now things is quickie. Microwavable. How many just pop this in the microwave and make a big cake? You know, I mean, I say, you know, I understand why people make it quick, because quick money, more money. Quick money, more money, but all them a kill we have. I tell you, the government a kill off the whole of we with the kind of food them a feed we. So this is not just a done thing. So let's not target one platform and act like, oh, I done alone put food coloring in anything, but let's target every platform that we respect, that has a good business out there, that has a good thing going, and say, hey, let's be mindful. These things are unhealthy in other foods, not just cake. Think about your pitney them. That's why them brain froggy. You give them too much snacks. If a juice try to blend up, make go back to the blend up thing, man. Give pitney real juice or blend from the real strawberry or, you know, the real berries, man. Make them thing up. When they buy too much of this, sometimes you dash the juice on the ground and you wipe up the juice, the whole of the concrete stain up. The whole concrete. That is how much coloring is in this food. It can't be good for me and you. So let's be mindful, guys. Let's be mindful. Because we love good food. And support who you want to support. Support the businesses out here that are doing. People still have to eat and they have to, take care of their family. So let's not be ignorant about that. But let us be mindful. Right? A lot of us, we just like to speak and we talk, but we talk with such bitterness sometimes behind our voices. And sometimes you might not mean it that way, but how the audience perceive it can be negatively. It can be done negatively. Like, you are say one thing and you are stuck out to your heart because you're strong, Because me understand that because I'm a stronger personality too. I get it. But even with that, there's a consideration you have when you're humble. That you don't want the message to be missed. And that is what happens oftentimes when we say things to people and it is with levels of disrespect and dishonor. When we are used bad word against them, we are disrespected, we are what it come off disrespectful, right? So guys, and even Plagetarians, when people give a review about something and if they don't like it, it's okay. Anything you don't like in America, you can carry back and get back your money. But because of the dynamic that has been going on for so many years, it's a tiresome dynamic to it. And it is tiresome. But because of all the conversations over the years, you will see where people will bash other people so quickly and so swiftly. Let's get out of the mode of bashing people because this is something we don't like. It is just what it is. Move on. Business goes on as usual. Money still have to make. But we don't have to attack people because this is stuff we don't like, okay? It is what it is. Let it go. Those days are over. Everybody have their platform. They have voices now. Stop trying to censor them. I would encourage people to be more respectful if you want to be heard. Be more respectful if you want to be heard. Nothing is wrong with having an opposite opinion. You're not a sheep. You don't got to follow and believe what others believe. I'm sorry, but I'm not one of them that you can pull on some bandwagon and tell me off if you join this and defend. I don't play that. And all of you that are defending people and you're defending people unrighteously, stop it. You're defending people even when they're wrong. Stop it. You're a fool when you're doing that. Because even common sense needs to be common. Because some of us say we have common sense, but when something is blatantly before you, just put your hand down and stop fighting a losing battle all the time. There are time to fight? Yes. There are time to defend something that matters? Yes. But there are time to shut your mouth because it's stupidity. And people are allowed to feel the way they want to feel based on what their experience is. Stop trying to be controlling, some of you. Using your platform to control people's thoughts. Cut it out. We're grown adults. And at the end of the day, all of us that are buying products from people, supporting their businesses, you ought to consider what you want to buy. So, and nobody take your money and your wallet out your pocket and give it to people. So don't complain too much either. Hard talk, real talk. Right? So supporters, that's all I wanted to say. It ain't got to be much. Because when what is said and what is known is known. But keep in mind, these days are the days that all these big companies want to make quicker money, double times the money. And they're gambling with your life and my life. It's not just these simple mediocre situations that we see around town. It is big people that are serving millions all across the world that don't care about you and me and will send out products that are dangerous, proven dangerously to people. And they're still doing it. It's not just food too. You know how much chemicals they got in pads and tampons? Why they gotta put all these chemicals up in these things that women use? So we can have a real conversation about things that can become toxic to our bodies. That we, whether we stick them on our bodies, put them in our bodies, or eat them or ingest them. Let us all be mindful. You pick them where you're sitting where you're pitting for them. Because everyone is a part of this conversation. Everybody. Many products we are used. Pure chemical, if you look on the label. We are saying, but why you need all this in a one pod? Why you need all this in a one juice? Why you need all this in a one water? What is this? Because one of them cannot patent nature. So doing things just with nature, they can't make no money. They have to sit there and alter nature to make a money. Well, we can't just cook natural things like we used to. It might not be as beautiful as you want to be. Because we know it's coloring and all these things, prettier food that make it more, beautiful, dynamic, presentable and so. Let me tell you something. You better me and you live healthy, yeah? Because food that go in the said place and come out of the said place, whether you have coloring or not. Remember that. Alright? So guys, I love you. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is your girl Annie, and it is Chit Chat TV, because over here we have the Heart Talk, Real Talk conversations. If you're not following me, please ensure to do so. I hope your Saturday has been great. I just wanted to add a couple dynamic to this conversation here. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of thoughts in how we do things. Right? Let us respect others, because we know we would like to be respected. Alright? Have a great rest of your night. And I hope your night is going well. It's just after 6, so it's not super late. I don't know if y'all cooking, but all I know is it was Thanksgiving. So y'all know y'all got them plates up in the fridge, because I know I got a whole 4-pan full of food that goes. You understand? That pork. That rice. And all the extra stuff. The curry chicken and all that good stuff. You know, Jamaica style. So I got my leftovers. So I know you got your leftovers. The Escovitch fish. Your premium, Miss Hudson. Yeah, goodie. And all of what we are dealing with tonight, no coloring. You understand? We could eat healthy, man. We could try do better. And some of we nyam too much. We nyam morning, noon, and night. Nyam too much. And then the food coloring I kill you. And the nyam too much I kill you. Because every time you turn on, you have salt everywhere, you have high blood pressure. Come, let's be mindful. Alright? So guys, rest up tonight. I love you. Miss Hudson, I'm going now. I was on here for a little bit, not for too long. I just wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit. So guys, sleep well. I love you. Happy Saturday. Have a great rest of your night. Make sure you follow me on all my platforms. TikTok, YouTube. Follow me there. Support us. Share our videos out. Alright? Bye.